I've got 5 months left in my presidency. I've got a lot to do. I intend to get it done. It's been the honor of my lifetime to serve as your president. I love the job, but I love my country more.
President Biden is passing the torch, but his service to the American people isn't finished. White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients says Biden is determined to stay productive during his final months in office. Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Joyce Beatty of Ohio. It's great to have you back, Congresswoman.
Congresswoman, it is good to see you. You're looking fabulous in your red. So much happened this week, so much history at this convention, so many rising stars and stars of the Democratic Party apparatus on the stage. But the week started with President Biden and his remarks. I'm just wondering your reflections on this historic week, but also the president really passing the torch and making that decision.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me this morning. I have very little voice left. I was there all week. Monday night was all about the heart of the convention and passing the torch. Honoring President Biden. I was honored to be one of the speakers on Monday night. Clearly, we saw him keeping his word. He stepped in to save the soul of this nation, and he's stepping out, saving it, passing the torch to Vice President Harris. The roll call will go down in history, albeit something small, considering he will have one of the greatest legacies of all presidents. But I can tell you, being there with DJ Cassidy Rock set the audience on fire. And that's just what we needed. It passed the torch not only to Vice President Harris, but to a whole new generation of people. People were on their feet. You didn't leave. You waited for every state to see what would be happening next.
You know, it's so interesting, the historic nature, Congresswoman, of course, of Vice President Harris's candidacy, and that comes in the wake of decades of work to make this moment possible. This from Notice.org. Black women leaders see decades of struggle vindicated in Kamala Harris's ascension. As you well know, there have been a lot of folks who have argued that one of the things Democrats needed to do in congressional races, for example, was to clear the field for black women candidates so that if you actually wanted to see an increase in the ranks and in the numbers, there's the history of it, there's the significance of it. What do you make of this moment?
This moment is very personal and emotional to me. But when I think of what it is doing across this country, it is helping us to move forward with a lot of diversity. It's also showing us that diversity is our strength. But it's bringing unity, and unity is the power that you're seeing across all of the races. Women who are well qualified. It's not just about having a candidate that's female or a candidate that's a Black American. It's opening the doors where you can see all the brilliance, all the expertise that has been shackled in the past. And while Republicans are playing reruns of the past, you're seeing Democrats reinvigorated. You're seeing them moving forward for the future. And that's what this election is going to be about. We've seen it in the last 3 weeks with Black women kicking off, 44,000 Black women that I was proud to be one of the leaders of to set that tone. But what did that do? It opened it up for white dudes for Kamala Harris, and white women and brown women and LGBT, and yes, Republicans for Vice President Harris.
Yeah, Congresswoman, that's an important part of this process as the broad nature of its appeal. But the chairman in me is always like, okay, the glass is half empty. We are, as the governor Walz said, we're still got some play left that we've got to make, and it is about consolidating this new coalition. Joe Biden was able to create a specific kind of coalition in 2020 that that took bricks out of that red wall and got back Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. There is concern out there about how this plays out. Is the country really ready to elect a black woman as president of the United States? And what does that say about the arc from Hillary Clinton's race to now, that, as you noted, white dudes for Kamala and white women coming together in a way that they did not for Hillary in 2016?
I think timing is everything. I think the condition of the country is entirely different from when Hillary was running. We're coming out of a pandemic, so now people want a plan. They want a lot of promise. And you're absolutely right, Michael, when you say we have some plays to go. But it's always better when you're going into the fourth quarter and you're ahead versus being even. And now we're moving ahead because people want to fulfill that promise that Joe Biden made. They want to make sure that we save our democracy. And when you look at the opposition and what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are proposing, they have been so negative. They have been so discriminatory. You can name anything and they're on the wrong side of it. In America, we're waking up. And so I am very comfortable and confident that we're going to continue at this pace, but we still have to understand the fight is not over, but we know when we fight, we win. And now we're fighting together. 8 years ago, we were also dealing with a lot of trauma within the party. We don't have that at this time. The party is unified, and President Biden gets full credit for that.